We are already inside the museum, so let's explore it together. It's actually very nice because it looks like an open air museum here with a lot of traces from history. You know, guys, museums are like, for me, like a temple in which I get into a sort of trance. Yeah. The cathedral there in the background. Yeah. A lot of olive trees all over. They do a lot of stuff, you know, made of olive wood. Some of the souvenirs you will find in the shops are actually made out of it. And since the museum is also on the top of a hill, you will have a very nice panoramic view from there. It's not only that the museum is nice, it's also the area where it is situated. You can see basically the whole city of Tunis. And of course, you can see the sea as well. Unique sector. Now is when I remember about all those history lessons at school when I was a kid. All those lessons everyone was looking forward to pretty much escape. And look at me now, like 20 or 25 years later, enjoying what one day was my worst nightmare ever. And here, as well as before in the amphitheater, you can actually get very close to the ruins themselves, if not actually walking on the ruins. It is actually very nice because, as I said before, in some European monuments, you can get too close to them and you feel like you're watching everything on a picture on a book instead of actually on the spot, which is something that annoys me. I understand that they do that in order to preserve the monument in a much better way, but still, I think it's removing quality from a tourist visit. Because look at this, you can have a better idea of how cool this place is. Guys, I will take advantage of this small break I'm taking down a tree here to tell you some interesting facts about Tunis, which are strongly related to what we saw before on the cathedral. The guy that was telling me that actually all the three religions are actually represented there, and you could think, isn't it strange actually to find Jewish symbols in a majoritarily Muslim country? It could be, but at the same time you need to know that Tunis, or Tunisia by extension, is also renowned to host a colony of more than 2,000 Jewish people. So it is very, very interesting actually to find the presence of the three religions in a country like this. And that area seems to be restricted, so yeah, let's come back. Interesting. If I didn't pay attention, I would think this comes from ancient Egypt, but it's actually a Christian symbol. As you see, once again, we see the presence of another religion. Yeah, with the Jesus Christ there on the cross. This is definitely a Christian symbol. We have now reached the Roman theater, which was the next stop in our visit to the Roman city of Carthage. And it seems that this is not only a monument, but they actually use it maybe for concerts or something like that, because there's all this structure built up here. But yeah, look at this. I mean, Roman theaters didn't have this shape as a matter of coincidence, actually. Romans were experts in taking advantage of the acoustics in this type of constructions, because back in those years, of course, they didn't have speakers, they didn't have louders, anything like that. So they needed to use their brains in order to get the same effects as we get nowadays in our music concerts and all that kind of stuff. I've just arrived at the next stop, the next part of the Roman city of Carthage I want to explore. But I must tell you guys, something you need to take in account if you ever decide to visit this marvelous place is all the different monuments that need to be visited are actually quite far from each other. So you will have to allow at least one whole day during your holiday in Tunisia to visit the city of Carthage. I am right now in the middle of a necropolis. Actually, it's the Punic necropolis, yeah, which basically stands for a cemetery. And very well preserved as well. This is from the archaic era of the Roman Empire. As you probably know, those of you that like history, the Roman Empire was divided into several different eras. I'm unable to name them all because I studied this like long ago when I was still at the high school, and my memory is not good enough for that. Yeah, let's have a look at all this. It is not only that the monument is very well preserved, it is also the environment around, with a lot of forests and everything that actually contributes to keep yourself cooled down even in a hot day like this. But it makes also more difficult to find all the different parts of the monument, because literally in between all the different sites you have to visit, there are patches of forest. So yeah, you will have to walk a lot. But if you don't want to walk, you can also go by taxi from one to another. The price is not going to be exaggerated, but just keep in mind what I told you before in one of the previous clips about using a taxi. And these are the Antonine Baths. Interesting. I've been reading about this for quite long before coming to Tunisia, and it was one of the places I was more looking forward to explore. Basically therms, nice thermal water, even though we are not gonna find any public bath here as far as I'm aware. Oh, there's a small entrance there. Hey, I think that bird jumped into the museum without paying. That's not fair. Look at these guys. This is very nice, and it's kind of like if you come here with kids, I guess they will have a lot of fun playing inside this area, like if it was a labyrinth. Some areas are still restricted, but anyway, you have a really big area just to roam around. Nice. Very, very interesting. As I said before, I'm a great fan of the Roman Empire history. especially if, like in this occasion, I can actually walk through the monument rather than just looking at a monument from a platform far away. And if the place was not beautiful enough by itself, here you have the majestic Mediterranean Sea.